You just reach level 80 and while checking at your hero panel gear tab, you realize that your equipment is a mix and match of many different color pieces of armor, weapons and trinkets. You want to get your endgame gear, so you open the trading post and realize that it's not there, and that even the second best alternative are somewhat expensive for a new player. You better start grinding open world for gold and farm, or you could try Fractals of the Mist. Before I start explaining what are fractals and how you can gear up using them, let me quickly and simply explain you the gear tiers of this game. A piece of equipment in this game can go from basic to ascended rarity. The higher the rarity, the higher the stats. The ultimate gear that you want to get for your character is ascended gear. Ascended gear, unlike its slightly weaker counterpart, exotic gear, is account bound and not character bound, meaning that if you have multiple characters you can swap these pieces of gear between them. Not only that, but at any point you can change the stats of the piece of gear for a price, meaning that even if you drop the wrong stats, or if you want to change from a support role to a DPS position, you can do that without buying another set of ascended gear. You also may have noticed that ascended gear has an extra option under the upgrading slot. Those are infusions, I'm gonna talk about them later. Fractals of the Mist, in short Fractals, are a 5-man endgame activity that you can do as soon as you reach level 80. To access this game mode, all you have to do is travel to Lion's Arch and enter this big pink portal. The objective of Fractals is to survive a dungeon and kill the boss located at the end of them. Every day a server reset, 3 different fractals are gonna get selected. These are your daily fractals. Completing a daily fractals awards you with a fractal chest. Inside this fractal reward chest, there's a chance that you will find ascended trinkets or ascended weapon and armor boxes. You may already have noticed that fractals are divided into tiers. Completing an higher level fractals will award you with more fractal chests, up to 12 per day per account. Fractals have a mechanic called Personal Fractal Level. It starts at level 1 and ends at level 100. The Personal Fractal Level determines which fractal you will be able to play. If your level is 25, for example, you will be able to select every fractals between level 1 to 25. To increase your fractal personal level, all you have to do is to complete a fractal that is on the same fractal level as you are or higher. If you're in a lobby with a player with a higher personal fractal level than you do, then the fractal lobby is going to use that player as a reference on what fractals you can also select. If your personal fractal level is 25, but its level is 70, then you will be able to select every fractal between 1 and 70, even if you don't have the level yourself. Infusions are special upgrades that can only be applied on ascended gear. Most infusions will only give you a stat called Agony Resistance, while others will also provide cosmetic effects for your character or even extra stats. As you're climbing your way to higher and higher fractals, you will encounter more difficult encounters with added mechanics. One of these mechanics is called Agony. The best way to explain Agony is to compare it with radiation. At level 0, you're safe, but at level 100 you need a full radiation suit to keep you protected. This radiation suit is called Agony Resistance. You can check how much Agony Resistance you need for a certain fractal by checking next to their name in the list. If the name of the fractal is in yellow or orange, you will take some extra damage from Agony attacks, while if it's in red, those Agony attacks will straight up one-shot you. You can increase your Agony Resistance by adding to your ascended gear better and stronger infusions. Every fractal that you complete will drop some +1 Agony infusion. You can combine this infusion at a merchant to get better ones. Try not to go over +9 Agony infusions because they will get progressively more expensive the higher you go with them. Also, if you need an early boost, you can buy a potion called Anguish Tears of Alba that will provide you with a plus 10 Agony Infusion boost, or plus 15 if you leveled up the Fractal Mastery. Speaking of masteries, leveling up the third mastery under Fractal Attunement will grant you even more extra rewards and more chances of dropping Ascended gear. Completing Fractal dailies will award you with pristine Fractal relics. You can exchange these pristine Fractal relics at the Fractal vendor for trinkets with stats of your own choosing. Free gears comes with its downsides, and the downsides for free Fractal gear is that you're subjected to RNG. But don't despair, there's an alternative. If you have the corresponding crafting professional leveled up, you can craft the Grandmaster marks and exchange them in the premium Fractal vendors for the gear of your choosing. This can get very tedious though to do, especially as a new player. Another great method of getting cheap Ascended gear, just by playing and not crafting, is to complete your daily strike missions and exchange the strike shards at the strike shard vendor for the pieces of gear that you're missing. The next guide I want to make instead is how to use your Ascended gear to make gold in Fractals. So if you enjoyed this guide and you want to see more, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Feel free to also just leave a comment down below if you have any questions. Or if you want, you can visit my Twitch channel and ask me directly. I'll see you in the next video. Adios.